Good morning, Abundant Life. This is Pastor Chris, and today we're going to wrap up our study on John chapter 11, verses 46 down through 57. This is the meeting that they had after Jesus had raised Lazarus from the dead, and the religious leaders decide, hey, we need to kill Jesus. Not a great plan. And the reason they made such a terrible plan is because they were invested in short term thinking. They thought it was better to kill Jesus now and worry about facing God down the road. That's short term thinking. Short term and long term thinking is a huge key to our own faith, and it's what we can learn from this. See, the flaw that they had in this meeting, the flaw in their thinking was so obvious. They thought they could choose things like popularity, power, control, security, prestige, status over God Himself. And they'd worry later about having to face God someday. For now, they're going to protect their status quo no matter what. That kind of short term thinking makes us put stuff that we're facing right here and now above God and over eternal things. But it does but it does something else, even to people who are following Jesus. Sometimes our short term thinking makes us think that all that matters is what we need now, the problem that we're facing now. And if God doesn't work out the problem that we're facing now, well, maybe there really isn't a God. It's incredible short term thinking. And you see, here's the problem, our focus is always on whatever issue we're facing at the moment. But really, the problems that we have now, we're not going to have in 5 years. And the problems that we had 5 years ago, we don't have now. Today, as I'm taping, I have no idea what day you're going to watch this. I do these a few weeks in advance. But right now, as I'm taping this, the date is April 13th. It's a Monday morning. It's the weekend after the peace talks with Iran fell through. And as of this morning, Trump is saying he is going to blockade the Strait of Hormuz. That's what's going to happen next. I have no idea. The world is a little tense right now. But when you're watching this, you know how that resolved, whether it was good or bad or what happened. Well, here's the thing. It's a problem we're facing right now. We're still going to be facing this in a few weeks. I don't know. Are we going to be facing it in 5 years? We're really not. We'll be onto a whole new set of problems by then. And by the way, it's 2026. 5 years ago in 2021, what problems were we facing? It was right in the middle of the pandemic. And when we thought the world was ending, here's the thing, the problems that we face right here, right now, are temporary problems. They always are. Eternity is what's real. And that's where our mind should be. Because when we think in the short term, we forget that Jesus died so we could be free. If that's true, then what really matters in the long run is our faith. That's what's about eternity. And that's what we have to remember. This is the big mistake Caiaphas made. He thought Jesus' death would be about keeping Rome quiet. He missed the big picture of what Jesus' death was really about. Yeah, so he made a prophecy, but he didn't even realize the depth of this prophecy, the depth of what he was saying, because he was too much of a short term thinker. But long term thinking, or rather, long term faith, is so different. It means remembering that no matter what happens to us here, Jesus has already died for our sins. He's already defeated sin, already defeated death. Nothing that happens in this life can touch us in eternity. Nothing can take away our hope in Jesus Christ. When we live with that long term mentality, it should change us. It should change the way we think. It should give us strength to make it through any disaster, any disappointment, any hurt, any loss, any failure, any unanswered prayer. And when we live like that for God, nothing can stop us. When we lose someone we love, we can keep going. When we're hurt, when we're discouraged, we can keep going because it's not the final answer. If we fail, we can keep going because we still have Jesus, and that makes all the difference. Jesus died so we can be free. So we should live like free people and not get bogged down with the short-term problems. I'll close with this story. My youngest son, Jordan, once told me about a friend of his that was a FEMA worker. That's the emergency relief place. And this FEMA worker was talking to him about what it was like being in disaster situations, helping people after hurricanes, after earthquakes, things like that. And he said, what happens in those situations is no matter how many times you go through it, at a 6 month mark, you hit a wall of despair. You just, after about 6 months of being in a situation like that, you hit this wall and you're exhausted mentally, emotionally, physically, and you just can't take it anymore. And what do you do then? The recommendation is this: get through it, keep going, get through it. Realize it's a wall, it feels terrible. It's really not the end of the world. See, folks, there's going to be lots of walls in our life. There's going to be lots of times where we go, I just can't do it. Okay, have your pity party and then keep going. Get through it because Jesus has won and we are headed for eternity with him. That will get us through. That's long term thinking. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.